Hello everyone, my name is Shiloh Blockberger and today we are going to be discussing some ABCs of common household materials. So these are just a few things that we come into contact with on a daily basis that could be harmful to our health, and just a couple things that I wanted you to be aware of with those things. So as defined in our textbooks, hazardous materials are substances and/or materials that have been determined of being capable of stating an unreasonable risk to safety, health, and/or our property. So here's a list of a few of my ABCs that I pulled out and are pretty common in my life that could possibly put you in danger because of the hazard that they do cause. So in the A column right here, we have aerosol cans, like the hairspray that I spray every morning, or that spray paint that we use every once in a while if we're doing arts and crafts or something like that. Those can be pretty hazardous to us and our health if we don't take care of them properly. Another thing in the A column is asbestos. Asbestos is something that is found all over the world and can potentially be pretty harmful to anyone who comes into contact with it. It's one that, workers and, the government make sure that we are very aware of when it is in a situation that could come into contact with humans. So in the B column right here, we have batteries. We use batteries for everything. It's how we drive our car. It's how we have a remote in our house. I have batteries in quite a few things in my house. Also in the B column, we have Blue Rhino, which is my brand of propane. Some of you heat your house with propane. I like to cook my dinner with propane. There's a lot of different things that we can use that for. So in the C column over here, we have ceramic glaze. You may see more of this in your grandmother's house, on pottery or things like that they use to preserve it and make sure it stays nice and shiny. And we also have on there capacitors, which are used for storing electrical energy. So aerosol cans. The one I chose to talk about today is WD-40. It's an anti-squeak moisture repellent releasing agent that is used to lubricate things such as your bike chain, such as a squeaky door, something you can use in the engine of your car. So when it comes into contact with you, it can cause dryness of your skin. The vapors from spraying can cause headaches, dizziness, fatigue. It also contributes to the greenhouse effect and global warming. So asbestos is a major health hazard to humans. It's something that when you come into contact with this substance, it's a cancer-causing agent. It causes respiratory tract irritation if it's inhaled. Conjunctivitis of the eyes can happen if it comes into contact with the eyes with prolonged exposure. If it comes into contact with your skin, it can cause corns or dermatitis. So this is something that definitely we have to be aware of when put in the situation of being around asbestos. Batteries. So I chose to talk about Duracell alkaline batteries. These are just your common household batteries. I know I have one in my clock, I have one in my remote. If you have kids, you use way more batteries than I do because they're about in every toy that they have to use. So if these aren't disposed of properly, they could become harmful to the human. They have an agent in them and they can leak, and they have zinc and magnesium, and if those fumes are released, they could become harmful to the human. If it comes into contact with your eyes, it can cause severe burns, and same with your skin. You have potential permanent damage to the eyes if it comes into contact with your eyes when the batteries are leaking. So Blue Rhino, the propane that I chose to talk about, if inhaled, it can cause some, severe problems. Anesthesia even can happen when the vapor is inhaled. It can cause severe burns to your eyes if you were to be around that and it become present and your eyes are there. It can also cause frostbite on your skin. The propane can be pretty dangerous and hazardous, and also, obviously, it's flammable. We use it to create a flame, but it could combust and explode, potentially. So capacitors, they store energy in electronic devices such as your computer. Your computer has very small ones, but you know, like a box, an energy box could have very big ones. They contain a varying level of toxicity, and prolonged exposure to those toxins can cause liver damage. Respiratory disorders can be caused when they're inhaled. These are just something that you want to keep in contact with each other, and if anything were to ever happen of them, you definitely would want to dispose of them properly. Ceramic glaze, if it's in a dust, it can be harmful. It can cause cancer in humans. The glaze also contains copper oxide, which could cause a pulmonary edema. Prolonged exposure to this can cause kidney, liver, and blood system damage. So this is another cancer-causing agent that you don't really want to come in contact with. So all in all, we come into contact with hazardous materials on a daily basis. These 6 things that I talked about, I come into contact with on most a daily basis. I don't use WD-40 every day. I don't use propane every single day, but some people do use both of those things every day and don't use some other things every single day. But we just have to definitely be aware that when using these common household hazardous materials, that they can definitely put us in harm's way. So my advice to you is just be careful with your everyday household materials and make sure you dispose of everything properly.